because we know what we're doing, we never ever have issues, except this time. The braces of the main hoop are a little bit too low. We should be, well, around 4 inches. And this is 3. So, well, we're gonna have to grind a little bit and make it better.
With the X-brace removed from the main hoop, I could clean up the tack welds from that and recope it so that the floor of the car would be a little bit higher. Now we've also cut and coped one of the sill bars, just the driver's side for now, and that just gives us a little front to back support. This is required by the rules, so we did nice thick 1 3/4 inch tubing, and we ran into a problem because when we coped it to be a bit lower on the body, and after taking some measurements and figuring out where the bottoms of the fenders were in relationship to the main hoop, we realized that the whole floor needs to be moved up about 3 or 5 centimeters or so. So when we did that, because the main hoop has a little bit of layback, that meant that this tube is too short. So we're probably going to have to cut another one of these once the materials show up tomorrow. But this is a good baseline, and we figured out what both the ends need to look like when they're finally coped. This is kind of a complex job, and I'd rather not have to start from scratch on that. Another thing we were working on is the dash bar. And I mentioned it in the intro, but we got the coping for this pretty much perfect. And this is a bar that's not required by the rules at all. I don't have to have it in any rule book, FIA or Mount Washington or New England Hill Climb Association or otherwise. But I wanted to add it just to add a little rigidity to the car, and it does offer a fair amount of crash protection from side to side. It allows loads on one side of the car to transfer to the other, and you can deform all of the steel rather than just the one side you're getting hit on. So we got the coping pretty much perfect on this. This is some of the best coping on the car. It just, everything fits up really, really nicely. And it's only tacked in for now, but once we've finished up more of the other structural elements of the cage, this will go in just like everything else. This weekend didn't pan out quite the way that we wanted it to. The main hoop, which we cut out and we tried modifying a little to get a little bit more angle out of it, it turns out it's a little bit too short. In order to get the top where we need to place it, it ends up further out toward the outside of the car, and that means the bottom needs to come up further. And we were planning on that, but we weren't planning on it having to come up so far. So at 4 inches, which is where we want the bottom of this tube, it should be at the bottom of this bracket, of this clamp. We're about halfway through coping, and we're already at the top of the clamp, and we still have another inch, maybe 2 inches to go. So we'd end up too far up on the car with the X-brace. So we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow to finish this and start with a whole new tube. It's not a whole lot of work because we have most of the coping template figured out, but it's not something I can do tonight. So this week we've pretty much finished coping the A-pillar bars, the sill bar, and the dash bar, and otherwise it was information gathering and taking a couple of steps back. That's all right, though. We'll be able to catch up in the next week. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next week's episode.